Chai and Nvidia news. So fresh out of the GTC keynote, there were so many things announced. I think there's this comment that summarizes it perfectly, spot on. Thanks for that comment. I was in the previous video, I predicted a new 3080 Ti and 3070 Ti. That did not happen. So boohoo on my part, that did not happen. There were new GPUs, however, not in the GeForce range. And A6000 is still the king of memory sizes in the workstation lineup. So I'd like to talk about three things that I really enjoyed. So the first one would be a CPU. Nvidia, the company, the tech company that makes graphic cards, is known for making graphic cards, announced a CPU. The workstation and data center line refresh, and what I understand about the different GPUs, a few thoughts on Omniverse and what does the future of games look like. So Nvidia introduced a HPC or a server grade, data center grade CPU, and so the premise and the reason for this is as the models progress in size and as we get to terabyte scale data of sorts, we have already hit that mark, I think, with GPT-3, and Nvidia's prediction is by 2023 these models will keep growing to a ridiculous number of parameters. So when you're training models to that scale, your bottleneck is not the GPU, it's not the CPU, it's the memory I/O rate. So the system bandwidth essentially becomes the bottleneck. Here's a before and after photo from the keynote. Grace is going to replace the memory to GPU bottleneck and speed it up by 30 times. Now, no specifications were announced of this CPU, but things that excite me about this is now this is a HPC CPU, but things in our field move so fast. Side note here, this is by ARM's licensing. So the CPUs right now are also getting really power intensive, and ARM is really known for making processors that aren't power intensive. So who knows, maybe in the future we'll have more CPUs more catered to deep learning workloads from Nvidia. That's just my random guess, but that's one thing to look forward to. We won't be worried about scalpers or miners grabbing the HPC or deep learning CPUs. They don't have any task for that, so we'll be safe from the price inflation there. But I was trying to understand a few things. So this is again a forward-looking announcement. This CPU will be brought to life by 2023, and ALPS will be the first supercomputing station to bring it to life. And I was trying to understand a few things. So by then, PCIe Gen 5 might be around the corner, so that means a lot of speed ups. And for DDR5 memory, I tried to look this up. At least on Amazon you can't buy DDR5 RAM, but there was an announcement that DDR5 RAM should just start appearing this year or in the next one. So by 2023, and an HPC creator or someone who's creating a supercomputer or a data center wouldn't worry about cheaping out on RAM. So even though the RAM might be expensive, it'll be tremendously fast. But to quote a blog here, taking advantage of tight coupling between Nvidia CPUs and GPUs, ALPS, which is the name of the system infrastructure at SCS, ALPS will be able to train GPT-3 in 2 days. 2 days. So imagine this if you're working, and that's the key to progressing science, right? Faster experiments. Imagine being able to train a GPT-3 every 2 days. The number of experiments you'll be able to do and the research that'll come out of this. Now, of course, this will be a supercomputer of sorts. It will be the craziest of them all. But that's also one frontier where we need to push the research from. Nvidia did not announce any new GeForce cards. I was expecting a TI release, but they have upgraded their Ampere lineup for workstations, data centers, and laptops. So I'd like to go over the current Ampere lineup for workstations and laptops. This isn't as exciting to me, but I expect some of the people, some of you might be working in design intense workloads, and it might be worth mentioning and running. Also for people who will eventually rent AWS instances, assuming AWS, there's no assumption, AWS will name these differently, but you should know what GPU is behind and how you should use them. So there is A10, A16, A30, A40, A100. As a practitioner, I am used to looking at just the memory and then thinking, oh, this might not be the best CPU. But then again, A30 and A100 would be the ones that might be the most exciting for us. A100 is already the GPU that goes into a DGX A100 box. That's why it's called DGX A100. The thing that excited me the most, and I actually got to interact with someone from the team. So A16 is meant for, and it's a 16 gig card. 4 of these can fit on a board. Not as crazy for me. It's 64 gigs of memory, if I remember correctly. But what this allows is up to 64 virtual users. Now each of these will get just 4 gigs of graphic memory, not as crazy for someone in the world of deep learning. For general workloads, imagine as a company just having one A16 board and being able to run the complete company on it. Instead of maintaining all individual boxes, just run a VM or multiple VMs on one server, give the employees a monitor and a keyboard, assuming we get to work in the office anytime soon. But this aspect of virtualization was pretty exciting. So these are the data center GPUs. So we have the A6000, A5000, A4000, A3000, A2000. Higher the number, higher the memory. Simple as that. Again, there are few variants that perform very similar tasks. Now the difference here would be they might be actively cooled or passively cooled for very similar options. So what NVIDIA is trying to achieve here is just provide as many GPUs for all possible use cases. The GPUs apart from A6000 are now also available for workstations. So for professionals who are looking for that speed up in the realm of portable compute, will now be able to get up to 16 gigs of VRAM from the Ampere architecture on a workstation grade laptop. Why is this exciting? This is just a refresh or an upgrade to the previous lineup. Essentially with the Ampere architecture, here's a key trend. The RT cores and Tensor cores are upgraded to the 2nd and 3rd gen respectively, which gives 2 to 3x speedups in different regions for people working with different tasks that utilize these. That might be worth the upgrade for many tasks. So I hate rendering videos. Upgrading the architecture to someone who's working in professional grade video stuff, and someone who like me cannot just leave their laptop or their Titan rendering frames for a long while, come back to it and be good with it, who are working with deadlines and other things to deal with, this speed up might be pretty important to them. That's it for the segment covering GPUs. The final thing I'd like to talk about is Omniverse. Jensen gave or experienced and shared a virtual tour with us of the BMW factory. RTX, when it came out, there was a lot of skepticism for this. But as I have played a ridiculous amount of hours in Warzones, and there are moments, I wish I had the gameplay recording for this, but there are moments when I'm trying to do a stealth attack on a team, and I would literally see my shadow from an angle and get scared. That's the level of immersion it offers. And I wouldn't have expected reflections would be a thing that offered this huge speed up. Growing up, I would always turn reflections off because I feel they would hamper the frames. Now I have a card that can render it, so I just leave everything at max. Imagine being able to walk around your house in VR when discussing it with an architect. Imagine what games would look like in 1 or 2 years from now. Games move pretty fast, the graphics move pretty fast. I would definitely be checking out Omniverse. These were the three things that I personally am excited about the most. There was plenty of more stuff that I didn't talk about. Maxime, autonomous vehicles, things from the medical domain. I'll leave that to you for you to explore. Check out the description for some links to that and feel free to dive into that. For now, these are the three things that I was pretty excited about from GTC. Thanks for watching.